we talked about what is inside of Riyad al-Salihin. We talked about there is many from the books that we learned, and I'm reviewing this for your sake, and I'm also reviewing for the new books. So very quick review. So there are many books of Hadith. The most famous of them are Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Muslim. That's right, you guys remember that. And there's many others. But the books of Hadith, they cover a lot of different topics. Okay. Great. It's good for those who want education. But most of us, we are only primarily interested in how do we please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our primary purpose. Right? What is our primary purpose? To please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy. That is our purpose. In order for that purpose to be accomplished, we need to know how to be a good Muslim. Okay? So Imam al-Nawawi took about 2,000 ahadith that were specially selected how to be a good Muslim, what our behavior should be, how should we treat others, how should we have our what our internal attitude should be, internal attitude, right? This is very important. And we briefly looked at some of the topics, so I'll show them again. This is the book, Riyad al-Salihin. The full name of the book is Riyad al-Salihin al-Salihin. The book of the Garden of the Righteous from the saying of the leader of the messengers. Okay? It was authored by Imam al-Nawawi. He passed away around 676 pages, which is about 800 years. We briefly last time spoke about the topic. I wanted you to actually now visualize the topic, right? The topics in the book. So the first topic that we cover, of course, in the introduction it has subtopics: sincerity and significance of the intentions, right? This is what we will cover today as well. Repentance, tawbah, right? Patience and perseverance, sabr, truthfulness, watchfulness, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you, having the fear of Allah, also known as taqwa, belief and having a trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tawakkul, right? How to be steadfast in your deen, istiqamah, right? Struggling in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mujahidah, right? And so on and so forth. As you can see, there are a lot of beautiful topics in here, how to give advice to other people, how do you tell people what is right and wrong, honoring people in general, especially honoring Muslims. How do you honor Muslims, right? What are the repercussions of not doing that? Making peace among people. Look at that. Islah bainan nas. How do you make peace among people? How to be kind to orphans, the poor, etc., etc. So next time, what are the rights of the neighbors? Being kind to neighbors. What are the rights of neighbors? What should you do with neighbors? How do you treat your parents? And part of your parents. Behavior, difficulty, when they're difficult parents or they're good parents, either way. What is your role and responsibility as a child for your parents, whether you're young or you're old, right? Visiting the poor, visiting the sick, what are some of the rewards you get from visiting the poor, having a hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, weeping, crying out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? What is the role of that, so on and so forth. You got this idea? So anytime, I want you to have this book at home. Inshallah, we will soon buy this book and we'll put it in our bookshelf. Inshallah, that's my goal. And we will talk about it then. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea. One of the most famous and the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put tons and tons and tons of barakah for over 800 years is this book, Riyad al-Salihin. Everyone studies it. All Muslims study this. Last time, then under each topic, remember what did I tell you? Imam al-Nawawi, following the tradition of his predecessors and his teachers, for every topic, what did he do? Every topic that he brings in the book, what did he do? You guys remember? Each topic has an introduction. In the introduction, Imam al-Nawawi brings ayat of the Quran. This topic is sincerity and significance of intentions and all the actions apparent in it. And then he brought to us various ayat in the Quran. We're not going to go over them today because I want to move forward, inshallah, okay? But you can see that the topic has an introduction. So he started with the ayat of the Quran, speaking about sincerity and speaking about having good intentions, the correct intentions. And then we covered the first hadith. We covered the first hadith, which is, I'll just blow this up a little bit bigger. And here's the title that I put in here. What is the title of the hadith? This is not from the hadith. This is for you to think of it as a tagline for the hadith that you can quickly understand what's it talking about. The value of these is based on the intentions behind them. And we talked about that what happened on our last lesson, right? And what did Rasulullah say? What part did I want you to memorize? This was the part I wanted. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Okay, it's just 3 words in Arabic. If everybody can memorize it, because why? This hadith is the most important hadith in our deen. Okay? Other than any hadith, this is the most important saying of Rasulullah. It is so important. It is so important that the most important book of hadith, which is Sahih al-Bukhari, starts with this hadith. Even though the first chapter of Sahih al-Bukhari, if you look at Sahih al-Bukhari, I don't want to switch right now, it's confusion. But the first chapter, the first topic that Imam al-Bukhari brings in his book, Sahih al-Bukhari, inshallah, that will be also of the show. His first chapter is about the beginning of Revelation, how Revelation began. But he brings this hadith as a first hadith. It's like somebody who's really thinking, like, how does having good intentions, what does that have to do with revelation? It doesn't really. We then would learn and understand the reason Imam al-Bukhari started with that hadith is because that was the introduction for his whole book. So there are how many hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari? 7,000 plus hadith. He meant for this hadith to be the introduction to the whole Sahih Bukhari. And following this tradition, a lot of other collectors of hadith, they are called muhaddithun. The collectors of hadith, in the early Islamic period. They started also with this hadith, following the footsteps of Imam al-Bukhari. So, Imam al-Nawawi, who is compiling this book, Riyad al-Salihin, he also, not only the first hadith, but his first topic that he selected was about intention, niyyah, having the right intention. I'm just giving you the idea why this is so important, okay? Because without having the right intention, whatever you do, it has no value. So if you don't intend to make salah, for example, somebody can read a book on how to pray, right? For example, you also see a lot of non-Muslims doing fasting in the month of Ramadan just because they want to join in with other Muslim friends that they might have, right? Do they have the niyyah do that for the sake of Allah during the month of Ramadan? No. Their niyyah is something else. They just want to try it out. They just want to see if they can handle it. They just want to feel, they just want to maybe do it for the sake of their good friends, their best friends. If they're fasting, then I might as fast too. Their niyyah is not to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So their fast, even though it's a virtuous, it's a commendable thing, it doesn't count in the deed of good books until they become Muslim. So when they become Muslim, if they become Muslim, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the love of Islam in everybody's heart and with all your friends. Then those good deeds will count. Otherwise, they don't. So somebody can read a book on how to pray or watch a video, and they're praying, but their job is all they want to do is they want to learn. They don't want to worship Allah. That is not their intention, so they are not going to do it. There, right? Much more can be said about that. I'll just leave it at that, and inshallah we'll move to the next hadith, the second hadith. In this hadith, we learn what? We will read the hadith first, and then we will come to the summary. Okay? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, and this will be my larger topic of the day, and we'll spend about 40 or so minutes on it. Okay? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, an army is going to come to invade the Kaaba. And when the invaders, they reach a particular area outside of Makkah called al-Bayda, that's the name of that area, al-Bayda. When they will reach that area, all of them will be, the earth will swallow up all those people. That army will be swallowed up. The earth will split open and that army will be swallowed up. And they will not be able to harm the Kaaba. So, this is Aisha radiallahu anha telling us that this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So Aisha, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, she asked Rasulullah, "Oh Rasulullah, how will they sink into the ground?" I'm just making it simple for you guys. How will they sink into the ground when some of them didn't intend to come to invade the Kaaba? They were just there to maybe buy and sell. They were just traders. Some people in the army, they were not there to harm the Kaaba. They just came to buy and sell. And other people might be part of them, because not just the army will be swallowed, other people might also fall into the ground, right, and swallowed up on the earth. They were good people. They will also get swallowed. So Aisha radiallahu anha is asking, how can it be that basically in her head, she thinks this is a punishment? How can the good and the bad be punished at the same time? How will everybody get swallowed up? Right? Don't we think about this too? Like, for example, when a bad hurricane or a typhoon or an earthquake comes and the good people get harmed and the bad people get harmed, right? What is happening, for example, in the world right now? The good people are getting harmed and the bad people are getting harmed. So how can it be? How can it be? She's confused. So Rasulullah told her, all of those people will sink, in this case, into the ground, but they will be resurrected on the Day of Judgment according to their niyyah, according to their intention. Do you understand? The power of intention. So a Muslim is never. So there's many things to extract from this. I'm going to talk about the other things about here as well. When will this happen? I'll talk about when will this happen. But the important lessons here is what? Whenever we see to good people, you think that why bad things happen to them? Why are people hungry? Why are they happy? That earthquake came in the mountains in Kashmir or somewhere, laws of people died. and so on and so forth. When difficulties come, a tsunami comes and destroys in 2005. I don't know if you guys remember the wars then or after that. A big tsunami of 2005, you guys remember the adults that came and how many people got killed after that tsunami? That happened in the Indian Ocean. And we wonder, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what He wills. We certainly make dua, we cry, we feel pain for the good people that are being hurt, but at the same time we should have optimism. Optimism is what? The good people, when they will be resurrected on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge them on their intentions before they die. Did they have good intentions or did they have bad? Makes sense? Okay. So this is why the title of this hadith will be used as people will be resurrected. Who will be the first human being to be brought back? It will be Rasulullah. I'm not exaggerating when I say almost every single page in the Quran talks about directly or indirectly about the day of judgment, when all of us will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how the end of the day might happen, what we experience at that time. It's going to be a horrible day, everything will die, and then we will all be brought back to in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So people will be resurrected based on their intentions. Great. Awesome. Let's move on. Going back to the army. Who is this army that is coming to attack? God. When will this happen? This will happen in the end times, before the earth collapses, right? That is going to be a terrible, terrible time. Terrible, terrible time. Injustice will be everywhere. War and bloodshed will be everywhere. People will be immoral. People will be corrupt. A lot of people will be wealthy. There's a whole trend of things that are happening. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us signs of when the end times are coming. Okay? The fancy word in English for studying about the end of days, the last days or the end days or the last day or the end times, it's called eschatology. What is it called? Eschatology, exactly. So if you want to be like you want to impress your friends, you can use this word. Let me show you what it's spelled by. That means the study of the end times. You will find this in Jewish literature. You'll find that in the Torah and the Bible. You'll find that in the New Testament, which is the Christian Bible. You'll find this in the Quran. You will find this in other non-Abrahamic faith books. Everybody talks about the end times, right? It's called eschatology. So this army will come during the end times. When we study eschatology, when we study the end times, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it easy for us to understand. There are some signs that are called minor signs. And there are some signs that are the major signs. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us 10 major signs. When these signs come, you know for sure now it is the beginning of the end of days. Make sense? You know for sure. For the minor signs, you're not really sure. Okay? You're not really sure. We'll talk about some of the minor signs as well, just so that you have an idea. But let's start with the major signs. The order doesn't matter here. Okay? But some scholars have interpreted an order. In this particular hadith that I extracted this from, the order is not there. I mean, the order is, may seem a little bit random. But the first major sign is Dajjal will come. And if you don't know what Dajjal is, that's a whole different class. okay? But he will be, in the Christian terminology, the Jewish terminology is called the Antichrist. Antichrist. You must have heard of Antichrist and Antichrist. Antichrist. Dajjal. Dajjal means the great deceiver, the one who will deceive everyone. The truth will be made false and the falsehood will be made truth. He will deceive people, he will confuse people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it so that we're not alive during that time. It's going to be a horrible time. So it will be the time of Dajjal. So Dajjal will be the first sign. Then Isa alayhi salam is going to descend. That is another sign. There will be smoke, there will be a beast. The sun will rise from the west. Ya'juj and Ma'juj will come out. There will be 3 humongous earthquakes that will destroy a lot of the earth. There will be a fire. Anyway, there's 10 major signs. Okay? If you hear any of those, then you know this is and these are called the major signs. Okay. What are the minor signs? We have a lot, hundreds of minor signs. Hundreds. Okay? Just to give you an idea, I've just helped categorize some of them. Okay? There were deep trials and tests in early Islam. We're not going to go into that right now. Particular events will happen. One thing that will interest you, like time. Time will pass by very, very quickly. Okay? Time will pass by very, very quickly. So you will understand when you learn about minor signs, they're not really signs, they're more like trends. Trends that will occur. Things that will continue to happen. Trends. Right? Time, people will lose a sense of shame. They will do whatever they want. Right? People will develop bad character. True knowledge will be lost. Quran will be forgotten from the hearts of people. For example, people will deny the Sunnah and only use the Quran. They will say, we only believe in the Quran, we don't care what it is. Leaders, there will be corrupt leaders that will arise during the end times. Leadership will be corrupt. People will be super, super rich. So much so, people will be obese. When you offer people food, they don't want it because they don't need it. That's how rich people will be, most people. There will be war everywhere. Killing will be everywhere. The one being killed does not know why he's being killed. And the one who's killing wouldn't know why he's killing. Rasulullah talked about, right? Earthquakes will increase. There will be a large number of earthquakes happening. The number of women in the world will outnumber the number of men. So much so that there will be 50 women to 1 man. Right? That's a lot. Technological advancements. By the way, this is a hadith from Rasulullah 1,400 years ago. This is going to blow your mind right now. This is going to blow your mind. Rasulullah prophesied, a man will leave his home and his thigh or his hip will tell him what is happening back at his home. Who can relate? What is this? Exactly. Did that blow your mind? This was a prediction of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is why he is Rasulullah, he's a prophet, he's a Nabi. He predicted smartphones and, Google Homes, what have you, right? That your thigh or your hip is going to alert you what is happening back home. Anyway, just to give you an idea. Alright. Then, what scholars say and consider the last of the minor signs. So all of these trends are going to continue to happen, and there will be a last thing that happens. And that would be the arrival of Mahdi. Imam Mahdi. A lot of the minor signs are not mentioned in the Quran. A lot of the major signs are mentioned in the Quran. Imam Mahdi is not mentioned in the Quran, but it is mentioned in tons of places in the Hadith. So it is the belief of the Sunni Muslims like ourselves that there will be an Imam Mahdi. Okay. I'm gonna detour here. You must have heard those who are from India, you might associate the term Mahdi with something that gives you a little bit of cringe. So I just want to give you out with that cringe. Okay. So we have Sunni Muslims, and we also there are two major categories of Muslims that you must have heard about. Especially this is important for kids because in schools they would have this. Everybody great. They pray Salah almost exactly like we do, they fast almost exactly like we do, they zakah almost exactly like we do, they believe in the same Quran, they believe in this, they have some differences in beliefs. Inshallah we will put that on the side. One of their beliefs is, though, that they have a lineage of leadership called the imamate. Okay, in English it's called the imamate. The different imams. So the first imam after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the Shia imam. Okay, the first imam after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Ali radiallahu anhu, and after that there was the son of Ali, which was Adnan and Hussein. Others, so on and so forth. They have 12. So Shias are not a monolith. You understand when I say monolith? They're not all the same. They have different subgroups. Okay. One of the major Shia subgroups, the major one, the largest one, which you could say is probably 80% or 90% of the Shias are that. They believe in 12 imams. So they're called the 12ers. Okay, Itna Ashar. Itna Ashar is the Arabic term for 12. Okay, so they have 12 imams. Long story short, the last one was a child that disappeared, and they believe that that child is going to be the Mahdi that will come at the end of time. Everybody with me? That child that passed away, I would say maybe 1,000 years ago. Yeah. So he will come back at the end times, and he will be the Mahdi. Okay. So that's the Shia. I just wanted you to understand that. What do Sunnis believe? Who is Hassan and Hussein? Do you guys know who Hassan and Hussein are? The kids? The grandchildren of Rasulullah. The grandchildren. Okay? So, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, before he passed away, his only surviving daughter's name was, what was the surviving daughter's name? What was her name? Fatima. Fatima had two children. They were Hassan and Hussein, and they were the grandchildren, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam loved them so much. So much so that if they would come, Rasulullah was standing on the minbar giving a khutbah, and he would pick up one of his grandchildren, put it in his arms, kiss them and hug them, and he pointed to one of them, this son of mine, he called him his son. Because in the days of the old Arabs, even the grandchildren were called sons, right? Just like, your grandfather, you a son or a daughter. Even though he's your grandfather. So this son of mine will grow up to be a leader. Okay? And there's different hadiths where he talked about Hassan or Hussein. Anyways. So what do Muslims believe? So Rasulullah tells us that during the end times, a man whose name will be Muhammad, his name will be my name. He will be from my family. What does it say? What does it mean by he will be from my family? Meaning, the bloodline of Rasulullah that has been going on for 1,400 years. Two of the children of Rasulullah Hassan and Hussein, one of them from their family, essentially. So a man will come who will be from my family. His name will be my name. And his father's name will be my father's name. And he will come at a time of great injustice, and he will spread justice on earth. What was the name of Rasulullah? Muhammad. So his name will be. And what was his father's name? Abdullah. So the name of the father of Rasulullah was Abdullah. So he will be Muhammad bin Abdullah, Muhammad the son of Abdullah. Mahdi is just a title. It's his title. Why is he called a Mahdi? Why do others call him a Mahdi? So this is the Sahaba and those students of the Sahaba, the students of the companions of Rasulullah, they use this term Mahdi. What does it mean? It means the guided one. Mahdi means the guided one. Why did they call him the guided one? Rasulullah said, this person who will come at the end of times, he will not be a righteous person, but overnight, one night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make him righteous. So he was not necessarily a good Muslim before, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overnight since he's rightly guided and perfect, the one who is rightly guided is called Mahdi. Anyway, guided, right? Obviously, you don't label other people him that because he's rightly guided, they call him Mahdi. Okay. He will come towards the end of times when there will be great injustice everywhere. He will be living in Medina. I'm coming back to this hadith. I'm now connecting the dots for you. I was just wanting to understand what's going on right now. A lot of scholars believe that he will be from the bloodline of Hassan, radiallahu anhu, the oldest grandchild of Rasulullah, not the younger one. Okay. So he will be from Hassan. So he will be in Medina, and other people will start to recognize that this person is going to unite us all in the time of major chaos. So much so there will be, Rasulullah tells us there will be 12 Khalifas. There will be a Muslim civil war even happening way at the end of times. Muslim civil war, all the Khalifas will be fighting with each of Khalifas. When I say Khalifas, they're not really Khalifas, they're rulers. 10 rulers will be fighting each other. And they will recognize, there is a growing popularity of this guy that everybody is talking about in Medina. And they will send to attack him. He will run away from Medina. And he will go towards Mecca. And he will find sanctuary around the Kaaba. Why would he do that? We have, as part of the laws of Islam, even a criminal, if he goes and hugs the Kaaba and grabs a hold of the cloth of the Kaaba, say for example, nobody can harm him. Nobody should harm him because it is the sanctuary. It is haram. Haram means everything that is allowed outside of it is forbidden inside. So you cannot kill people. You cannot hurt people inside the sanctuary. So in order to protect himself, he will run to the Kaaba and he will try so that people don't hurt him. Right? That's mad. And remember the civil war? The 12 rulers that are going to be fighting? They're going to send an army. Remember the army that will come to attack the Kaaba? They're actually not coming to attack the Kaaba. They're actually, and this is connecting a lot of different hadiths together. I'm just telling you the story. So that army will come in order to defeat the man and kill him or whatever. So that is what's going to happen. And that army is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they're going to reach this place called al-Bayda, which is outside of Mecca, and they will be swallowed. And then Mahdi will remain. So that's the context of this hadith. Everybody's clear? So in summary, end time, a lot of injustice is going to be there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a man whose name is Muhammad bin Abdullah. People will call him the guided one, who will then spread justice over her. Okay. And now let's fast forward now. So he's saved from the army, right? Nobody can harm him, right? Now let's move on. What's going to happen after? In the 5 or so minutes, inshallah. Imam, we call him Imam Mahdi. Imam, what does Imam mean? Leader. It means leader. That's all it means. Okay? That's all it means. Imam Mahdi, when we say, means the leader of Mahdi. The right one. He will unite the whole Ummah. Okay? Right now, how many Muslims are there in this whole world? Who's the top? Very nice. Almost 2 billion people. What is the population of Earth? 8 billion. 8 billion, 7+ billion, right? What's the percentage of Muslims right now? Yeah, pretty large number, right? Can you imagine? 25% of the world is Muslim, and it's growing. It's growing. How many Christians are there in this world? 30+%. 30. That's all. It changes. So, Christians are there, Muslims are there. Muslims are like at this rate of increase. They're increasing pretty soon. Within 50 years, the number of Muslims in this world, inshallah ta'ala, will outnumber the number of Christians. So Muslims will become the majority religion in this world, inshallah. Okay. Why am I saying that? So whenever the end times happen, I don't know how many Muslims are in this world, right? They're all divided, there's civil war happening, whatever's happening, bad things are happening. Imam Mahdi will unite everybody after, I would say, 14th century from now. I don't know when the end times will happen. Nobody knows when this will happen. It can happen 100 years from now, 50 years from now, we don't know. The end days might come 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now. We don't know. Nobody knows when the end times will come. This is why we have signs. When we are short, that this time will come. So he will unite all the Muslims for the first time after a lot of chaos. Since the history of early Islam. And there will be battles going on, and he would be the leader of the battle. Okay. One time, so people will hear rumors that Dajjal, the Antichrist, we learn now that the time of Imam Mahdi will coincide with the coming of the Dajjal, the great deceiver. And when Imam Mahdi comes, there will be this rumor. He will rule for 7 years. He will rule the Ummah for 7 years. Toward the end, people will hear rumors that Dajjal has come. It turns out the rumors are false. And when everybody thinks that the rumors are false, Dajjal actually comes. And now his army is going to be fighting the Dajjal. And we will talk about the Dajjal inshallah later on. But one time while fighting, he will be, and Rasulullah tells us, he will be in Syria, in Damascus, in the Umayyad Mosque. There's an Umayyad Mosque over there in Damascus, white minaret. It's very famous. You can Google it. Look at it. It's beautiful. So he will be leading people. He is about to step on. Somebody has given the Iqamah already. Imam Mahdi is leading the people in Salah in Umayyad Mosque in Damascus. And lo and behold, something amazing.
Isa and Jesus is going to be brought down from the sky to two angels bringing down Isa and Jesus. And they will bring him down to the obviously, you can't. Once you see something like that, there's no sense of confusion. You know who that is. And Isa other hadith tells us, his hair will be dripping wet, and you will be wearing this beautiful garment. Everybody will know this is Isa. Okay, so Imam Mahdi starts to then give Isa unity. He's a prophet. Right? The second last prophet, one of the greatest prophets in Islam is Isa alayhi salam. One of the greatest prophets is Isa alayhi salam. So Imam Mahdi will offer his position to Isa alayhi salam, his lead. And Isa alayhi salam will tell him, no, the Iqamah was called for you. So he will let Imam al-Mahdi Muhammad bin Abdullah lead the Salah. Rasulullah said, this is a great honor for you. We're not the Ummah of Isa. We're the Ummah of Muhammad, right? So when Isa is letting Imam Mahdi lead, who is the leader of the Ummah, this is an honor to us. He's actually indirectly giving honor to whom? Rasulullah. When your Ummah is going to lead, and Isa is going to be and then when Isa comes, he will, this is where the concept of the Christ and the Antichrist are going to enter into. This is the concept of the Christ and the Antichrist. So Isa will be able to kill the Dajjal with his mouth, and that will be the end of it, and then other things happen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. And I just wanted to using this hadith, I just wanted to help guys to understand that belief in the last day on earth is a core of our deen. What is the first pillar of Iman? Iman in Allah, Amantu billahi, wa malaika, His angels, kutubi, and His books, wa rusuli, and his messengers, right? وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and the last day is part of our. So this, unfortunately, is not talked about. And use this hadith as an anchor to kind of give you an idea. One of the last of the minor signs before the major signs begin, and we spoke about them. Okay? Any questions you have? Kids, any questions?
One question mentioned about property. I think another reason to give the honor to Imam Mahdi is because he's from the front line of Prophet.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, to give the honor back to. So, by the way, a lot of people are seeing what's happening in Palestine right now, right? And they're saying, oh, this is the end times, this is the end times, and Imam Mahdi is going to come anytime. We don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But how do you know he's here for sure? What is that one thing that Imam Mahdi has come? What is that one thing? The army is heavy. Don't ever forget this heavy. Do not ever forget this heavy. When an army is going to come and get swallowed up outside of Mecca, that's when you know Imam Mahdi is here. Clear? And obviously, when the Dajjal is here and Isa descends, you know. Obviously. Any other questions? Yeah.